In this video, I'm going to talk about standalone macros, what they are, how to create them, and other basic information about standalone macros. To begin, I want to start by talking about what standalone macros are. Standalone macros are a way of creating code like a program that has logical steps to it and executes so that it achieves a certain desired outcome. Now, a standalone macro is one that will show up here in the navigation pane, and it will be listed under macros. It is able to be called by a form or a report, but if that form or report were to be deleted, the standalone macro would still be listed here in macros. So now let me go ahead and show you how to create a standalone macro. And to do that, you would click on Create, and then you would come over here to Macro, and that would open the macro editor, and here it is. And so that you can enter various commands that you want to be executed in a logical way so that it would achieve what you want it to achieve. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and type in some commands. Now you can look here and see the various commands that are available to you, and actually there are even more commands that are available to you if you click on Show All Actions, and then you can look here in the list, and there's even more in this list. But we're going to go ahead and just pick a few in the logical order that needs to happen in order for first a message to show up on the screen that will say that that the main menu form is going to open. Then we will go ahead and open the main menu form, and then from there we'll give another message that will say that we're going to open the FRM evaluations form, and then we will go ahead and actually open that form. And afterwards we'll put in a beep just to make you aware of the end of that macro. So to begin doing that and creating that particular macro, I'll put in the command message box. Then I'll say the main menu is about to open. So I can type anything I want in here, but this is the message that I choose to have displayed on the screen. And I'm going to turn the beep off, and I don't really need to type any none or anything else. Those are all optional options. And then here I'm going to come here and I'm going to say open form, and I'm going to say main menu because that's the form that I want to open first. Then I'm going to come here and I'm going to say message box again, and this time I'm going to say the form FRM evaluations is about to open. Okay, and then I'm going to again turn off the beep and leave the other options as they are. And then again, I'm going to come and say open form, and I'm going going to this time say form evaluations. Then finally, I'm going to put one last command in. It says beep. Okay. Now, remember, I put these commands in logical order as I want them to execute. I put them in logical order from top to bottom. Okay. So in order for me to test my macro, I first need to save it. So I'm going to save it and I'm going to say test macro. Okay. And if you come and look over under macros, when this is done saving, you can see that it says test macro. And here the name of the macro appears as well. So you know that it's saved under the name test macro. So now I'm going to run my macro. I'm going to say design and run. And here it starts to execute the macro. It says the main menu is about to open. And I can say okay. And so then now it goes to the next next step, which is open form main menu, and it did do that. Then it went to the next step and it said message box, the form evaluations is about to open. That's the message that it says there, although it's hiding behind this form. And so that did actually occur, and so I'll say okay. And then next it's going to go ahead and open this particular form evaluations, and it did do that. And if you heard, there was a beep, which was the next command. And so now the macro has finished executing all of the commands, and so it is done. So now I'm going to go ahead and close these forms, and I'm going to go back to my test macro, and I'm going to go ahead and close that so that I can create a new macro. So I'll click on create and macro. And what I want to say now is that, again, there are lots and lots of different commands in here, and some of them are more basic, like beep, or for example open form. Let's see where that is. Open form, open query, open report, open table. Those are all fairly basic. Or maybe quit access is another one. Or for example close window, that would be like closing form or report or something like that. Close database. So there's a number of different fairly basic commands in here, and then there are some more complicated ones. And just so that you know, you just need to go and look each one up and what they do. But some of them are more complicated than what I would go over in this particular video. So now I just want to go back over what was covered in this video. Once again, standalone macros are macros that you create outside of a form or report, and they are listed here under macros. And to create a macro, then you would click on create, and then you would come over here to macro and click, and it would bring you into the macro editor where you could enter certain various commands in a logical order. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening, and I'll hear you, or I'll See you in the next video.